Let's be real. Silence cuts deeper than rejection ever could. One unanswered message is enough to tighten your chest, hijack your thoughts, and slowly drain your self-respect. You tell yourself she's busy, that she's different, that there's some harmless explanation. But underneath all that rationalizing, you know what's happening. You're being ignored, and every instinct inside you starts screaming to chase, explain, justify, fix. This is where most men lose control without even realizing it. Here's what no one ever taught you. When a woman goes silent, it's rarely about confusion. It's about leverage. Attention is emotional currency, and the moment you start begging for it, you cheapen yourself. Not just in her perception, but inside your own nervous system. She feels that imbalance before she ever thinks about it. Desperation has a frequency, and silence is often used to see whether you break under it. Most men respond the same way Long Mesa has. Apologies that weren't needed. Humor to mask anxiety. Forced confidence. They believe effort creates attraction, but attraction doesn't work that way under pressure. Chasing sends one clear message. You believe she is above you. You're unconsciously asking to be chosen. That collapses polarity. Desire doesn't grow where imbalance is obvious. Here's the uncomfortable reality. Ignoring you gives her control. Control soothes ego, not attraction. And when you chase, you reinforce that control. When you withdraw correctly, you remove Italiano. This isn't punishment. It isn't manipulation. It's self-respect. The strongest signal you can send isn't a message, it's emotional containment. Meeting silence with silence isn't weakness, it's clarity. It communicates that you noticed this shift and chose yourself anyway. That choice flips the entire frame. Suddenly, she's no longer dictating the pace. You're the man who didn't abandon himself for attention. That creates dissonance in her mind. She starts wondering why you didn't chase like everyone else. But, understand this clearly. This only works if the withdrawal is real. No checking her stories. No lurking. No indirect reactions. You stop performing. You return to your life, your body, your purpose, your growth. Women are extremely sensitive to emotional availability. When yours disappears, the space becomes loud. Her silence was meant to reduce your value. Your calm absence increases it, not because you are playing games, but because you're demonstrating emotional discipline. That's rare. And it's felt. This is the moment where men either regress or evolve. Regression looks like anxiety dressed up as effort. Evolution looks like restraint guided by purpose. You don't need her response to regulate your emotions. You regulate yourself first. That shift changes everything. Your posture adjusts. Your voice steadies. Your focus sharpens. Even if she never reaches out again, you win because you broke the habit of self-abandonment. And if she does return, she returns to a man who no longer chases approval, but chooses connection from strength. Remember this as pressure builds. Mastery is quiet. Discipline is attractive, and men who can sit inside uncertainty without reaching become very difficult to emotionally control over time. The hardest part isn't her silence. It's what that silence does to your mind. Your thoughts race ahead of reality. You imagine replacement. Forgetting? Being erased. That mental chaos is exactly why ignoring you works. It pushes you into emotional overdrive while she stays still, and whoever moves first loses leverage. Here's what most men miss. A woman ignoring you is often observing, not disconnecting. She's watching how you handle emotional deprivation. Do you self-soothe or self-destruct? Do you stay centered or leak value through anxiety? When you chase, you reveal that your emotional stability depends on her validation. That's heavy energy. It creates pressure, not desire. Attraction needs space. The moment she feels responsible for your emotions, interest drops. Not out of cruelty, but biology. Desire moves away from emotional dependence. The correct move feels backwards. You do nothing externally and everything internally. You don't pause your life. You don't wait. You redirect your energy aggressively into your self-training, skills, social expansion, purpose. Not to perform. To as your life fills again, her absence shrinks. This is where ego enters. Her ego was fed by your attention. When you remove it calmly, without anger or explanation, you create a vacuum. Ego hates vacuums. Silence from you forces a question she didn't expect. Did I lose control, or did I misjudge him? That question is uncomfortable, and discomfort pulls attention back without you saying a word. Destroying ego doesn't mean humiliation or coldness. It means emotional indifference. Not fake indifference, but genuine none. When she realizes her silence didn't break you, didn't bend you, didn't shrink you, something shifts. You become unpredictable. And predictability kills attraction faster than distance ever could. There's another layer most never reach. When you stop chasing, you stop fantasizing. You stop projecting futures that don't exist. You see her as she is, not as who you hoped she'd be. That clarity is power. It allows you to decide instead of beg. Choice replaces need. If she reaches out, your response must reflect your growth, calm, grounded. No emotional dumping. No passive-aggressive humor. You speak like a man whose life never paused. If she doesn't reach out, you still win. Because you trained your nervous system to tolerate uncertainty without collapse. That skill alone separates boys from men. Understand this deeply. You're not trying to get her back. You're reclaiming yourself. The man who doesn't chase silence trusts his worth without external confirmation. That confidence travels across rooms, screens, and time. It's the kind of presence women remember even after you're gone. Most men believe that if they just explain themselves better, things will change. That belief keeps them stuck. Explanation is chasing disguised as maturity. Logic doesn't stabilize attraction. Emotional contrast does. When you stop reacting the way she expects, you break the pattern she felt safe controlling. Her silence was meant to lower your position. Your non-reaction restores balance, sometimes even flips it. Women notice emotional shifts instantly. Detachment without resentment creates confusion. Confusion leads to reflection. Reflection creates emotional investment. Men sabotage themselves by pulling away with anger or announcing their withdrawal. True power is quiet. You don't punish. You don't threaten. You remove access. Access is a privilege, not an entitlement. And understand this too. Her silence may have nothing to do with you. It could be insecurity, options, validation, needs, or fear of intimacy. When you chase, you absorb her chaos. When you step back, you protect your frame. A man with a strong frame evaluates who belongs in his life. He doesn't beg for inclusion. This shift changes how you see women. They stop being judges of your worth and become participants in your world. That energy is felt instantly, even through silence. Desire responds to autonomy and contrast. When someone chooses you freely, it feels powerful. When they feel chased, it feels forced. Stepping back restores her freedom to choose. Ironically, that freedom often reignites curiosity. And if it doesn't, something better happens. You detached from outcome. Detachment isn't indifference. It's no longer needing a specific result to feel whole. That's emotional adulthood. From there, your decisions improve. You stop tolerating mixed signals. You attract healthier dynamics. Silence loses power when it loses emotional charge. So, if she ignores you, let her. Let her feel the weight of her own silence without your emotional labor holding it up. You're not disappearing to be noticed. You're stepping back to see clearly. Clarity is dangerous in dating, because once you see clearly, you stop chasing illusions. Walking away emotionally feels like loss when your ego wants closure, but persistence in the wrong direction is self-betrayal. When you keep reaching for someone who withholds, you teach them how little it takes to keep you hooked. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop asking why she's silent. Start asking what her behavior says about her availability. Behavior is data. Data isn't personal. When someone wants you, they make space. When they don't, they make excuses. Self-respect doesn't announce itself. It shows in what you tolerate. If she comes back, it must be different. Don't reward absence with instant access. Stay grounded. Stay consistent. Let her reveal effort through behavior, not words. And if she never returns, you gain alignment. Your feelings, standards, and actions, finally, match. That alignment creates confidence that doesn't depend on outcome. Most men never reach this because they're addicted to emotional highs and lows. Silence triggers anxiety. Anxiety triggers chasing. Chasing kills attraction. You break the cycle by choosing stillness over impulse. So don't try to win her back. Win your self-respect back. From that place, attention flows naturally because you're no longer asking for it. You're meeting it where you stand, steady, centered, unmoved by silence. The real battle was never with her. It was with the version of you, afraid of being forgotten. Men who can let go without bitterness become unforgettable because they stop grasping for reassurance. And here's what happens when you truly stop chasing. At first, nothing. Then, she notices the absence of pressure. No messages, no reactions, just quiet. In that quiet, memory returns. She remembers how you made her feel, not how often you texted. Emotion lasts longer than attention. Her ego expected pursuit. When it doesn't arrive, it questions itself. That loss of control is a deep trigger. But this only works if you genuinely release the outcome. This isn't a tactic, it's a decision. You stop needing to be chosen and start choosing. That identity changes everything. If she returns, evaluate effort. Words are cheap. Consistency is proof. Boundaries aren't one-time actions. They're standards. If she doesn't, you still move forward without resentment. Acceptance is strength. You trust that what aligns won't require chasing. So, ask yourself this honestly. Do you want to be chosen by someone who ignores you, or become a man who never self-betrays for attention? You can't have both. When you internalize this, everything shifts. Your standards rise quietly. Your options improve naturally, not because you tried harder, but because you chose better. This isn't about destroying her ego. It's about dismantling the part of you that needed her response to feel whole. When that ends, you're free. And freedom is magnetic. So, think about the last time you chased silence. Ask yourself this and answer it honestly. If I stopped chasing people who give me silence, how much self-respect would I gain and how many wrong connections would I lose? If this hits something real, like it, subscribe, and share it with someone who's stuck chasing silence right now. Someone you know needs this reminder.